Hey you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back to another Project Life Process video. It's been a while since I've been working on my Project Life, so I'm excited to get back to it. But actually this video I filmed before December, so it's kind of been sitting on my computer, and I probably would have got to it, but I had a little bit of computer issues right before December. So anyways, I'm just getting to it now, but it's actually just the process of editing it and watching through this video is getting me really excited to get back to Project Life. So this week is week 46, and this was when we were in Amsterdam, and we went to Belgium also for a couple of days. So this is the week that I'm covering, and I'm going to do something that I've done now, I think twice when I've been on vacation, and I'm going to add a map to my week, and I'm going to highlight the areas that I went to, and you'll see that coming up exactly how I do it. But it is something that I've done in the past, and like you've heard before, if you do something once and it works out, why not keep doing it? And I just really love the results. And so I'm gonna do it again. Hopefully you guys will like the results too. And then perhaps when you go on vacation, it will remind you to either buy a map or grab a map from your hotel or wherever you're at, that you can remember that that's some ephemera that you can use when working with your scrapbooking. So right there you saw me, I'm cutting out some 3x4s and also some 3x3s. You can see I'm going to be pulling over a I guess it's a 9x12 pocket sleeve that's got 12 3x3 on one side and then 12 3x3 slots on the other side. So I'm going to do most of my photos on one side and then the map on the other. So I'm just finding a place where I want everything to go. When I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the color. I'm thinking about where the people are. If something has a ton of detail, I'll often split that up and then put more photos that have smaller details together. I'll try and separate the blue so there's just not a ton of color around, but that's kind of what's going through my head as I'm figuring out where I want photos to go. So here is the map, and I got this from our hotel that we stayed at, and I love maps so much. So that's why I love including them in my Project Life. So what I'm doing is I wrote out this travel log, which is everything that we did. I actually wrote it on my notes on my phone while I was on the plane or at night. So it made it really easy to just put it into this document. So what I'm doing here is where it says we went to, let's say we went to the Anne Frank Museum. And so I'm marking that. I think that right there is like number 2. So I'm marking that with that hashtag, not with the hashtag, with the geotag. And I'm sorry, I do not remember where I got these. I actually think I may have bought them at Studio Calico years ago, or at least a year or two ago. I don't know if they're still available, but go ahead and look. I've used them before. I really like them, obviously, because you can correspond it with your journaling. So what I ended up doing is I found all the places on my map. And now what I'm doing, because I want to make sure that I'm not cutting in between one of those geotags. So now I'm marking it with a pencil exactly where I want to cut it. So I'm just kind of getting an idea of where to lay it out. And then I'm going to cut them all out. And then I have to re-find it again. And you'll see that some of them are a little tricky to find. So I'm just cutting them out, and instead of just having like a mass of maps and not being able to put the puzzle back together, I'm just doing each section one at a time. So you can see that I cut out a 3x12. I cut 3 3x12s, and then I'm cutting them all into 3x3. So that's how I did it to make it a little bit more manageable there. And then I'm just throwing them in the slots. And you'll see that I'm doing that first just so, like I said, I don't want to, figure out the puzzle later. Like I just want to get it in the spots now. And then I will pull out each piece of the map individually and then glue on those geotags as needed. I think I've said this before, but I like to have everything in its place so they're not all flying around and just getting all over my table. So that's why I'm choosing to do it that way. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take over my travel log sheet, and I've pulled out these stamps. I decided to use these ones came from Allie Edwards' Day in the Life kit. I think it might have been her second or third kit that she came out with this year. I can't remember exactly. And I'm using this glass slipper ink from Studio Calico. It's a dye ink, and I'm just using the numbers, and you can see that I've left a spot open for those circles, for those stamps. So, you know, if you're looking at my journal, you can see that I left a spot. Now, they are not exactly perfect. They do not fit the circle exactly perfect, but that was totally fine with me. I knew that it was going to do that because I did a test run before I actually committed it to a thicker piece of cardstock, and I was fine with it. I liked the way it worked. I thought that the glass slipper ink was definitely clear enough so that you can see the words around the numbers. And I was lucky in that I only needed 9 spots. So I didn't need to worry about putting 2 stamps side by side. So I really like the way these look. These numbers are hand drawn, have a hand drawn feel, and so do the circles. So I like the way that it worked. I thought it was a good option. So now that I have all of that written out, now I'm going to go through and put in my numbers. So that was number 1 was our hotel. I can't now remember, and that journaling is too small to know what the other ones were. Some of them were very obvious, like museums, like the Van Gogh Museum and things like that. And others were a little bit harder. I think one of the things that I didn't highlight everything, but one of the things that I did highlight was the favorite burger place that we went to was absolutely the best. If you ever go to Amsterdam, I loved it. And maybe there's like a whole bunch of them out there, but this was just a random one that we found. And so I wanted to highlight that because if I ever go back to Amsterdam, which I hope that I do, I'm going back to that burger place. Best burgers and fries I think I've had in my life. That's not an exaggeration, but of course that's just my opinion. So anyway, there were some things, and I don't know if I actually show it in this video, where and here you can see me doing it here, where I need to look I'm looking on Instagram to help me find the actual location of the street because I couldn't locate it exact. We found it by riding bikes. So it's just like one of those things that we stumbled upon. Actually, I think there was 2 locations of things that I was looking for, and one of was the burger place, and I can't now remember what the other one was, but it might have been where we got chocolate, like some, not chocolate, but I guess it doesn't really matter, but it was just another location. I think it's where we got the waffles, and I thought it was really delicious. I think it was called Metropolitan or something, and there's a ton of those in that city. So like I said, it was just the ones that we stumbled upon. But anyway, some of my favorites that I wanted to highlight from the trip. So the bottom 2 squares, I didn't need that in the map, and so I wanted to add a few more pictures, and so I just added those pictures in the bottom. And now I am working on the journaling. So I have some highlights from this week. Now I was really bummed because I actually did do some journaling on my phone and I had forgotten. It was all about what I had learned. Actually, I don't think it was on my phone. I think it was in my notebook, and it was about what I learned on the trip, and it was very lighthearted, but I'd forgotten about it. And so I actually didn't get that journaling in here. Now I still need to do the next week, which I think is week 47, when we went to Iceland. So maybe I'll add a little bit of that journaling there, but for whatever reason, it didn't get in there. And I'm using I'm using that page protector to help me because I didn't have crop marks. And so I'm using it to help me know where to center it. So sometimes I use that and just make a mark with my pencil to help me figure out what I'm doing. So some of the journaling I did on cards, and some of the journaling you can see that I did on my photos. So anyway, I just tried to mix it up a little. There was really no rhyme or reason. I think mostly because like that one picture, that 3x4 picture you can see of me that's sitting out there where I've got the journaling on top. I did that because it had a lot of white space, and that journaling really pertained to the Van Gogh Museum, which is where I took that photo. And I think maybe in the end, I don't even know if I show it in this video, but I might actually reprint that picture. I can't remember. I feel like it's been too long to know. There was a couple changes that I made, and I actually did do them on video, but I lost that video because I didn't realize I didn't save it, and I had accidentally deleted it off my camera. So I was really, really bummed that happened. But you know what? Stuff like that happens all the time, because one thing that I did forget to add to this spread that was very significant to this week was the American election that happened on November 8th, I believe. So that happened on week 46. So what I ended up doing in that video that you don't see, but perhaps I can show you in pictures, I took one of those photos that's on the bottom right, on the right-hand spread. I took out one of the 4x6 photos, and I used a stamp that I have of the United States, and I colored in the stamps based on the Republican and the Democrat vote. And then I wrote out that Donald Trump won. So I think I wrote the actual numbers, and then, the numbers of the electoral vote, and then I wrote that Donald Trump won. I thought that was a significant enough event that I wanted it to be in my project life, but I was also really grateful that was an event that I was out of the country for. It was nice not having to be here and cry along with everyone, or what have you. So anyways, I did want to note that I did make that change, so I'll have to show it in some pictures. So right now I'm working on a card. I realized, hello, you can see my face. I realized that I did not add the dates for this week, so I thought it would be fun to just highlight the week from November 5th to November 11th. And you guys, I had kind of forgotten that I had this awesome mega date stamp, and I'm really excited again to remember that I get to use this in Project Life. I should have been using it in December Daily, but it didn't even occur to me. So I'm really excited to get that back out and use it for all my Project Life coming up and in 2017. So I'm excited about that. So you'll see here that in the end, like, I obviously do not have very much room for November 11th. And you can see that I'm debating, like, do I want to redo this? The only thing that I don't love about the date stamp is it is really hard to turn those knobs, and I'm wondering if that's just over time it's going to get a little bit easier. So I didn't want to remake it, and I kind of liked the way that it looked, and I love the way that turned out. I think that I might end up doing that another time coming up here in Project Life. So now I'm working on filling in that last 3x3 square. And I remembered that I had this, Ellie Edwards, one of her story kits, it was all about up. And I remembered I had these messy circles. And as you guys know from December Daily, I love these messy circles. These are silver, not gold. And so I decided to grab over these messy circles, and I pulled out, maybe I don't do that right now, but I'm going to add that messy circle in just a minute. I pull over this Kelly Purkey stamp set. It's all about getaways and vacations, and so I thought it would be a good thing to make using for the Avery tab. So that's what I'm working on right now, is just the Avery tab. Obviously that says getaway. I can't remember what the other one says. I think it says something about adventures. It obviously goes with the travel. So I'm just putting that on. I think that definitely adds a finished look to the pages. And then I'm just going to add this Get Up and Go. One of the things that I end up doing is I don't love the that map there, so I just decide to get one of the extra maps that I had and use that instead. And I liked the way that looked. I like the way that looked a little bit better, so that's why I chose it. So anyways, that is what I ended up putting in that spot, excuse me. So now I'm just looking through to see if there's anything else that I want to add, if there's, anything else I want to change. I noticed that one of the things that I don't know if I can't now remember if I wrote about this in my journaling or not, but one of the reasons for the trip was to celebrate our 20th anniversary. And so I wanted to highlight that in the spread that even though our anniversary was actually in December, it was a month before this trip took place, that is one of the reasons why we took that trip together. So I think the last thing that I'm going to do, that's right, my husband is an illustrator and he drew this while we were gone on some of the downtime, either on the plane or when we were just taking a break. And I wanted to put that into the album, and he said that I could use the original. What I ended up doing is I actually did make a digital version of it as well, so that he would have a copy of it digitally if he wanted. But I really did just want to put the original in the book, even though the paper was not white. It was a little bit different color. I like adding that to that and remembering that special trip that we had together. You guys, can you believe that I actually found this footage when I went back and looked? I found it in my raw files. So what I did is I had this map of the United States. I got this, I believe, from Studio Calico. This is probably a few years ago. It's awesome that I can use it now. I used my typewriter to type out Trump, and I think that says 306 and then Clinton 2. I was moving it too quickly. But it has the number of the votes that they got from the Electoral College. And what I'm doing is I'm using my Staedtler pens that are colored, the blue and the red, and then I'm writing in some lines to indicate the direction that the states went, if they went Republican, which is red, or Democrat, which is blue. And then I just replaced it with one of those photos. You're not going to see that part of the footage, but I just replaced it with one of the photos that I had there in the corner. Anyway, you guys, this is my finished spread. You're not going to see the map on this portion because I had recorded that later. But for all intents and purposes, this is what week 46 looks like. I hope you guys were able to find some inspiration, especially when it comes to documenting travel. So if you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more Project Life process videos from me, please subscribe. All right, you guys, I will catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.